Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Alberta News and Views. Today, Canadian politicians are arguing all day. They are terrified that Donald Trump is going to absolutely decimate the Canadian economy. Nobody knows what this Trump-Trudeau relationship is going to look like. We need an election, is what we need. Justin Trudeau needs to call an election, resign. He just needs to disappear. We need Pierre Poilievre in government to align the Canadian economy with the American economy so we can all be bazillionaires together. Before I get into this, I have to show you this post from legendary Larry Brock. You aren't going to believe this, but you are going to believe this because it is Canada. Larry Brock says, breaking news, Trudeau's radical environment minister, Stephen Guilbeault, is dodging committee testimony on his role in the corrupt green slush fund. Guilbeault has financial holding in a company that received $10 million from the Green Slush Fund. Unprecedented corruption. Call me shocked. Oh my, another liberal scandal. Listen to this.
Mr. Chair, today an explosive story hit from the Le Journal de Montréal. Headline reads, Minister Guilbeault holds financial interest in a firm linked to a controversial federal fund. His office flatly refuses to give details on the subject. As we all know, Minister Guilbeault has held a financial interest in Cycle Capital. Cycle Capital has received well over $600 million from the scandalous Green Slush Fund. He holds a financial interest as a minister. This committee passed a motion on October 7th, 2024. I'm asking for an update, Mr. Chair. Has he accepted our invitation to attend? He's got a lot of questions to answer. If he refuses to answer in the press, he will not be able to use that excuse here at committee.
Thank you, Mr. Brock. I'll provide just a brief update. So we have, the clerk and I have extended the committee's motion and request for the Environment Minister to appear. He has yet to do so. We have sent reminders, and we have made the committee available on dates of his choosing, but we have not heard a response in the affirmative yet.
This is exactly why all of these politicians and business, this is why everybody is getting on board with green technology. Because you can call it green, create your own company, write yourself a blank check with taxpayer dollars, and just funnel it and do it over and over and over and over again. That's what they are all doing. It is taking taxpayer dollars and creating unprecedented wealth amongst people based on a foundation of climate lies. It is astounding, and this will end disastrously. Moving on back to Trump's victory sparks concern over ripple effect on Canadian economy. Are Canadian politicians losing it over Donald Trump's victory? Donald Trump's impending return to the White House has cast a spotlight on Canada-U.S. economic ties amid worries that the president-elect's protectionist stance could complicate the vast levels of trade between the two countries. Some Canadian business leaders have expressed uneasiness over Trump's promise to introduce a universal 10% tariff on all American imports. A Canadian Chamber of Commerce report released last month suggested those tariffs would shrink the Canadian economy, resulting in around $30 billion per year in economic costs, lowering GDP, lowering absolutely everything. But the most important part is devaluing the Canadian loonie even more. Here is Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau going back and forth about Trans Mountain pipelines. They're actually arguing over pipeline. It's unbelievable. Check this out.
Approved and saw the completion of 4 pipelines with no tax dollars to subsidize them. Businesses should make money rather than take money. By contrast, this Prime Minister has pushed $100 billion of energy investment out of Canada, most of it into the United States. And once again, I can imagine that the champagne will be popping over at the Trump Tower when they find out how much more Canadian money this Prime Minister wants to send south. Why does he want to kill Canadian jobs? Why don't we bring home production and paychecks for our people?
I remember that day.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The Leader of the Opposition just admitted that he wouldn't have put a penny into TMX. He wouldn't have made it happen. This is something that matters to Alberta. It matters to the oil workers there.
Order.
Fergie to the rescue.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister from the top, please.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative leader just admitted he would not have invested in TMX. He would not have gotten it built. But, Mr. Speaker, on this side of the aisle, we will stand up for Alberta. We will stand up for oil and gas workers across the country because we know that getting overseas markets for our oil and gas is...
Here it is. Fergie.
Colleagues, it should be possible for the Honourable Member from Lakelands, please.
Right.
The Honourable Prime Minister, 25 seconds left, please.
Mr. Speaker, once again, we see that the Conservative leader will not stand up for workers across the country. He won't stand up for Albertan oil workers. We got the TMX pipeline built because we know that getting a better price for our oil by being able to ship it across the Pacific is a way of creating jobs and prosperity that allow us to build strong jobs and economy for the future. The Conservative leader does not understand that we need to invest in workers to build a stronger future, not offer them cuts.
That's right. That was hilarious.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, when we were in government, we didn't have to offer $30 billion bailouts for pipelines because they made money. That's how business works. He wants to create a bailout economy. Let's clarify how this works.
Yeah, let's.
$30 billion, $7 billion of which went to a Texas oil company, which took our tax dollars down to Texas to build American pipelines. Mr. Speaker, all our X's are in Texas. Why don't we bring home those jobs for Canada?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
You just heard it perfectly clearly.
Oh my God. I'll save your ears from bleeding and your brain cells from dying. He goes on to say that Pierre Poilievre doesn't believe in investing in pipelines. We didn't need to invest in pipelines, and Justin Trudeau thinks that investing Justin Trudeau thinks subsidizing is investing, and that's why Pierre Poilievre says we didn't need to subsidize anything because these private companies would build them and they would make money for everybody and everybody would be happy. I remember when the Trudeau government bought that pipeline. It was hilarious. Trans Mountain, they sold it because they knew the long-term projections would be horrendous and extremely bloated with government bureaucracy and red tape. So they sold it to the government and walked, and they were laughing at how much money they got for it because they knew exactly what was going to happen. And what happened, what they thought was going to happen, did happen. It's costing $1 bazillion, and now the Trudeau government is going to dump it on the natives, and he's going to say that it was good for them so they can have their, I can't remember what it's called, like the part ownership of economic prosperity in Canada. That's how they frame it. It's unreal. I'll keep you updated with as much as I can when I can. All of you out there, like, share, and take care.